you think one dropship's bad, wait till you see what I'm about to show you. It's outrageous. What's up everybody, it's Davo here, and I'm going to show you how to spawn as many dropships as you can handle. I'm serious, the actions in this video are so crazy that I can only measure them on a scale in which I like to call the scumbag meter. More on that later, but if you stick around till the end of the video, I've got a short and sweet montage of me and the dudes taking on some dropships and dogfights. Here's a quick preview. It's so good. In my last video, everybody kept asking me, how do I not take damage when I'm playing this game? And I bet you that dropship up there wish he knew what I'm about to tell you, because apparently they can just shoot right through each other. So if you don't want to take damage like me, go to your server settings and go to the custom zones, and you can do this on single player or your own server. Notice the list here gives us options to block and allow damages of certain types. Just pick and choose what you want. I would think it's important to know that this prevents many of the types of damages you would expect. Fall damage, for instance.
Ouch! 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 Ow! Ouch!
Even getting bitten up by a shark. And even interfering in family disputes.
Stop doing this to me! Cut it out! All the time, I'm telling you!
But you might take some other status effects, for instance like the flashbangs. It's not going to protect you against one of the abandoned bunker's razors. He can swing at you, and he can still lounge at you, and this is going to do lots of damage that you're likely not going to be able to recover from no matter what. Be warned. Now with that out the way, we're going to go ahead and open up chat by pressing T. A few days ago they came out with an update that allowed us to use all of these admin commands. We're going to test out the first two. By the time this video comes out, you've probably already gotten to experience the forced dropship encounter. If that's the case, then you probably already know that there's a cooldown for this command, and you can sit here and try to put it in again and again and again, and there's not much else you can do with it. I initially thought that cooldown just meant that as long as there's a dropship in play, that we weren't going to be able to use this command. But once the dropship actually settled and started to target on me, I was able to use that command again and force encounter a second one. Double the trouble. Now if you don't want to take a lot of damage, you can go to the main menu and actually press Ctrl D to enter drone mode. This works for single player, and this also works if you're a server admin. And the reason I'm showing you this is because this gives us options we can't do as a player. I set up a macro so it just presses up and enter, and it's going to mash that command in until I get the desired amount of dropships. Now as a drone we can actually go up here and fly around these things and not take a whole lot of damage while we do it. In fact, we don't take any damage. Back at the base as a player, I did try to force the base building encounter, but for whatever reason I couldn't figure out how this command works. The first time I tried to use it, I was just pressing enter, I was spamming it a bunch of times, but it kept telling me it failed to force the BB encounter. I messed around with the game settings thinking that this was going to be something that might help me out, but in the long run it didn't do anything for me. And I initially thought I was doing this command wrong. I even checked my flag to make sure that I had the right amount of base building elements to pull this off, and everything checked out for me. I even went to a second character. I tried this out on single player and on multiplayer with different characters. No matter what my base building elements were, I couldn't enforce that encounter. After playing with it a little bit more, I noticed that they had an option, an extra parameter to add my name, and this didn't work either for me. Maybe this command just doesn't work at the moment, but I'm definitely going to come back and try to play with that a little bit more. I really want to fill my base up with infinite centuries. So if you like experiments and you want to see the setup that we used to come up with this, check this out. I loaded up a server with Dallas and Angry Inch, and we initially just wanted to take out a dropship with a bunch of planes loaded up with tracer ammo. There's only one problem with that. We suck. I could sit here and make fun of my friends all day for their crazy flight skills, but when it came down to me actually pulling off something good, I wasn't really too good at it myself.
Oh no!
Once we ran out of our initial fleet of planes, we just started spawning them in one by one and loading them up on the spot. We did this so many times, and it eventually got to the point where every time we tried to take off, something happened. Somebody got attacked or something just tried to mess with us. Sometimes it was annoying, but sometimes it was pretty funny. I just headbutted that zombie in the nuts. Let's talk about bugs for a second, can we? Some of these bugs were so bad, I can only express my rage using this scumbag meter. And I'm gonna leave it over here on the side until the devs break that too. So let's start this off with a low tier bug on the scumbag meter. Visually seeing an open parachute always cracks me up. If this were competitive Scum, then that parachute just put a big beacon on where my body is. The rage intensifies when your body just decides to lift off and fly away. It happened so fast I almost missed it, and this is the only time that I've seen it. But imagine if that was all your gear. I mean, that's just a full character wipe right there. Everything you got, gone to the wind. That's just some bad programming. Now, if that wasn't scumbag enough for you, then check out this one. Then imagine having to deal with planes that fly themselves. Yeah, you're hearing me right, ghost planes. And I find that this happens when you get gunned down in a plane by a dropship. Now, I do need to give this bug some credit. Right now, the dropship is fixated on that ghost plane, and it's not worried about what I'm doing. I took it upon myself to go ahead and destroy all the planes, thinking that that would destroy that one, and it did. But I think the dropship's AI is broken at this point. Just to mess around, I forced another dropship encounter, and it worked. I was taken back at first that 2 dropships existed, and then I remembered, oh crap, I'm on a server with the rest of the guys. And I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit nervous and twitchy here and almost blew up Dallas in the process. Sometimes the dropships go after the ghost planes, and it's kind of funny to just watch them all crash into the mountain. You guys gotta fix this thing. This is just too bugged, man. Now, I don't know if you're ready for this one. This is probably one of the scummiest bugs in this game. Typically, when you take a plane, it's because you want to go a long distance from one spot to another. The plane itself is a 2-seater, so you can bring somebody along with you, but the issue is, about a minute into your flight, the person in the front seat's gonna desync. By the time that person realizes what happens, it's already too late, and you're gonna be pissed off. The whole time, you're probably cursing the person that's with you doing flips and flops in the air. Hopefully you weren't over water when it happens. And the game's just gonna kick you off the server. The real issue here is that when the game desynced, it logged you out at that location, and when you log back in, it's gonna think you were in a plane. As I showed you earlier, it seemed like there was always something happen every time we tried to get in and out of the planes. Just like this puppet who got headbutted in the nuts. I've got a good one for you. You wanna see a magic trick? Watch this. Ta-da! Now, you haven't flown a plane until you've flown it like this. I can't even explain how this happens. I was trying to get out, and it put me back in just like that. That's how we roll. Dropships be hating. Now, I know it's been a long video, and I appreciate you keeping up with us, but we did eventually test our luck against a bunch of dropships. The first time we went at it, we just spawned a whole bunch of them on the ground and tried to get in our planes and take off, but we had about a 2 out of 3 success rate every time. When we were able to get into the air our first time, the dropships actually stayed relatively low, and they did put a hurting on us, I'm not gonna lie. But we did our best to stay as a group and take off again. And again, here's that 2 out of 3 success rate. This happens, you know. There goes Dallas. Guess they weren't all that interested in me. Like I said, we loaded our planes down with tracer ammo to make sure that we could see our shots. Wouldn't make good footage if we just loaded in full clips of blank ammo. Taking a challenge like this, you gotta watch out not only for the dropships, but your friends too. Once we finally got into the air, it took us a bit of time to learn how to watch out for each other. That was a close one. But it was still really difficult to try and get a kill in. 75 or 100 rounds really only go so far, and we were constantly landing, swapping planes, and getting back into the air. But we did eventually succeed in our mission, and we did take out a dropship. And I've put together a really nice montage of clips for you here at the end. As always, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, leave a comment, let's talk. I want to hear what you think about this game, and I'll see you next time.